The Buried Man by BR Yeager. The truth is, I don't expect them to show up at all. I'm used to getting blown off. It's basic as hell. New Kid Blues, etc., etc. You arrive in town the same way you've arrived in the last 6 towns, midway through the semester, long enough for factions to solidify among the student body, but too late to find one for yourself. Split any group of kids into factions, and overnight they'll hunger the blood of anyone beyond their circle. It's instinctual, a survival mechanism. Any new variable is a threat, and right now the variable is me. So I'm wary when this lanky rat-faced kid approaches at lunch. Older, maybe even 18, and yeah, very rat-faced, especially with those mean little eyes and that dopey smirk, an archetypal outcast. But that goes for most kids at Los Suelos K-12, and sharing outcast traits isn't enough to make you kin. So forgive me for not exactly throwing myself out there when he sits down at my table, sucks a strand of mucus back up a narrow nostril, and asks, "What's the haps?" I ignore him, figuring he's talking to someone else or just trying to fuck with me. "You talk, man?" I look up. Sometimes. He smiles wide, sharp canines like a coyote. "You're new, right? What brings you to Los Suelos?" I push away my lunch tray. "Get on with it. You gonna shake me down, show me the hands? You want my food?" "Damn, dude." Ratface puts his hands up, palms open. "Who hurt you?" I look back down at the tray filled with pink sludge and maybe eggs. Never mind. He introduces himself as Max, says his pop hauled him here like maybe 10 years ago, and that he knows the deal with this place. He tells me he can get me anything I need. Okay, I say, cool. Then he leans in real close, skin smelling like old yolks, breath like rotten cabbage, and asks if I've heard about the Buried Man. I smile. I haven't heard of the Buried Man, but I know what it is. I'd been in this position before in any number of bullshit towns learning the mythos. Haunted bridges and murder houses. A Kansas cemetery might contain a gateway to hell. A New Hampshire hill town might house a Micah witch. The Florida panhandle might have a skunk ape. Local legends. The details change, but it's all the same thing. An excuse to go out at night. Everything else is just a regional flavor. So, Los Suelos has a Buried Man. No, I iron out my smile. I don't know about the Buried Man. Max leans in close, grin like a sickle. "Oh, then you're in luck. This Saturday's a full moon." "Yeah?" "Yeah. You'll see." Tap, 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 tap. I jolt up from bed, my room filled with warm blue light. Mom snoring away in the room over. Then tap, 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 tap on glass. I grope the side table for my glasses and slip them on, squinting at the window. Tap, 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 tap. A gray shape moves behind it, then snaps clear. Max, contorting his face into evil grins. The tapping stops, replaced by hushed giggling. I pull on my pants and slide over to the window. Shushing him, I reach the bottom of the window and gently pull it up. "Let me get some clothes on," I say. There's another boy standing away from the trailer. He looks more my age, maybe 14 or 15. Skinny, tall, in a black trench coat. I point to him. "Right over there." Max nods, still giggling, and walks to his friend. I pull on some slides and a shirt, then climb out the window and head over to meet them. "Dude, what is good?" Max laughs. "This is so tight. Thought you were going to bitch out for sure." I almost say I didn't expect him to show either, but bite my tongue. He slaps my shoulder and points ahead, past the trailer park fence. "Let's go. Up here." We climb over the fence and jog to where the ground descends, down a gradual slope toward a long squat building, hard gray in the moonlight. Hunkered in the warehouse's shadow, Max pulls a pack of cigarettes and 3 warm beers from an old burned-out oil drum. He points to the other boy. "This is Raph." Raph dips his head slowly, almost as a curtsy, eyes never leaving mine. his coat billowing in the wind like a cape. The pleasure is mine. A voice like chain dragged across stone. So, what a hellish turn of fate brings you to the Suelos? Flares in my head. Mom's new boyfriend. Mom crying on the telephone. Packets of white. A gun in the dresser. New job, I say. My mom got a new job. Raph nods. Of course. Come on, Max says, pointing ahead with his beer. It's like a mile out. We step from the shadow to rows of vacant lots, dust skittering over asphalt, a warm, cottonmouth wind rising. Crossing Cypress Avenue to the outskirts, Los Suelos' lights diminish behind us, and a full circle of moon, hung high above the bolt gun hills, takes lead. Max and Raph talk and laugh, jokes relying on contexts I don't yet understand. I keep silent, watching the shrubs trembling in the breeze. All right, it's coming up. Max points to a car-sized rock, ringed by spiny blooms of thistle. That's always how you can tell. Leading us past the landmark, a few yards down, we reach a small crater, diameter of maybe a hula hoop. Oh, shit! Max says, pointing at the crater. I've never seen it come up before. And just as he says that, there's a sound, a hiss, air releasing. The sand within the crater shifts. A gurgle. The sand turns brown and begins filling with water. Man, Raph says, that is beautiful. I step toward the crater, now a small pool. What is it? Max smiles wide. It's the buried man. What the hell is the buried man? Max squats and lets his ass fall into the sand. You ready for a history lesson? I laugh. Sure. What you got? So, like around 200, 150 years ago, when white boys started taking over, this place was part of the California gold rush, and folks were setting up mines all over. People going crazy over this stuff. And sure, a lot of places had gold, but like 90% of the time they just found jack shit. Can you guess which category Los Suelos fell under? Jack shit. Smart. But before anyone knew that, this prospector, Joe Barnesy, bought out this land right here and hired up the locals to dig and sift for gold just over that ridge, maybe 100 yards up from the river. You can still find the mine. So is that where we're heading? Max laughs. Fuck no. Even in the daytime, that place is suicide. I knew this one kid, thought he was hot shit, skipped class to go there, never found. Some folks are still looking for him. Anyway, one of the miners was this guy, Francisco Munoz. He had a deep history with this place. His lineage goes back before even the Spanish. Francisco had a small family out here, a wife, 3 kids, a dog, the whole deal. And he always told his children, never, ever go near the mine. He understood and even respected the adventurous nature of his children, but he also knew firsthand how supremely dangerous the mine was. Just that week, he'd lost 2 buddies from a cavern collapse. All he wanted more than anything was to keep his family safe. Then one day, on his walk to the mine, he hears a noise, a crying. He must have been... Max turns and points back toward the way we came. Maybe a dozen yards, that way. And the noise was right around here like a little boy, crying. So he runs toward the sound, but even as it gets louder, you can't see anyone. He calls out, "Where are you? Let me bring you back to town." But the voice doesn't respond. It just keeps weeping. And Francisco is a good man. He knows he can't let a child die out here, so he keeps following the sound until he reaches... He points toward me. Right around there. And that's when he realizes the sound's coming from beneath the ground. He pauses for some kind of reaction. So what? So he starts digging. He figures a kid from town had gone into the mine and gotten lost. It never occurs to him that if that were the case, he wouldn't have been able to hear the cries from above ground. Like, times were different. People were dumb. Anyway, he digs and digs, and as he digs, the crying gets louder, and by the time he's waist deep in the hole, he begins to recognize the voice. It's his youngest son, Alejandro. Oh shit. So he starts digging like crazy now, praying for his son's safety, but cursing him too for disobeying his instructions. He digs so deep, with no concern for how he'll get out of the hole. He digs until nightfall, until the hole is twice as tall as he. But here's the thing, he never reaches the source of the crying. The weeping always seems just below his feet. And as the shovel falls from his blistered hands, he looks up to find the moon, positioned perfect and over the hole, shining its silver light down on him. He stops. And so then what? Max shakes his head. The hole caves in on him. He's buried alive. When he doesn't come home, his family goes out searching for him. Later on, his wife claimed she could hear him weeping beneath the dirt. And when they called out for him, this little pool gurgled to the surface. You see, it's Francisco's tears from his ceaseless weeping, because he knew he'd never see his family again. Mulling it over, sifting the details through my head, I laugh. Shut the fuck up, dude. It's true, man, Max says, but he's laughing too. It's totally that dude's tears. This is so far from my first rodeo, man. It's true. Just ask anybody. Let me get this straight, I say, waving my hands like a professor. So while Francisco was digging, there had to have been somebody with him, right? No, he was all alone. So how the hell would anyone know what he heard? How would anyone know he got buried alive? He probably just got sick of mining and dealing with his family and dipped. Max shakes his head. You know how these things work, man. We just know it happened. Don't need any witnesses or shit. Okay, and why does he cry when it's a full moon? How does he even know that? He laughs again. Who cares? I creep further toward the pool, blades of blue shimmering across its surface. Really, though, what is it? So we actually have another reason for bringing you here. I turn back to him. It's kind of an initiation thing. He dusts his hands on the sides of his pants. If you want to roll with us, you gotta drink the tears. Raph starts laughing. Max restrains a smirk. Yeah? The two boys side-eye each other. Yeah. All right, then. Creeping to the side of the pool, I crouch onto my knees. The water's skin ripples, crystal clear like a jellyfish. Cupping my hands, I reach in. Colder than I expected. Icy, almost. I lift a handful of water. Wait! Raph's voice, now filled with panic. I tilt my head back and raise the water to my lips. Dude, it's a fucking joke! Max shouts. I drink it down. So cold, like ice or blades. A push inside my head. Vertigo, swaying me off balance. You should make yourself hurl, Raph says. Neither of them are laughing anymore. It's just water, I say. No, for real. There is so much contamination around here. You should really make yourself throw up. Raph's right, dude. Max pushes himself to his feet. You're not even really supposed to drink the tap water here. Flashes in my mind of lead, of arsenic, of birth defects, of a life of blindness. I hold my belly with both hands, now swollen, even though it was only a sip. Oh. Doubled over. Stomach clenched. Every muscle in my face flexing. Grunting, dry. I put my finger in my mouth, trying to touch the back of my throat. Gaggy, dry heaves, my limbs going to pins and needles, and a thick glob of saliva falling off my lips. But the water is still in me. My stomach gurgles and moves, like an eel's nest. Reaching my entire hand inside my mouth, I tap where my tongue becomes my throat. My guts clench, and hot fluid rockets through my mouth, onto my hand, onto the ground. Whoa! Max shouts. Damn, son, Raph says. That was a heroic puke. Buckled over, hands on my knees, spitting the taste out. Bile and beer and the mac and cheese with spaghetti sauce Mom made for dinner. And something else. Like a fire. Burning wood. No, burning plastic. Like a dollhouse on fire in my mouth. In my stomach. Standing upright, the landscape blinks in quarter seconds. It feels like a fever. I take a step and almost fall over. "You all right?" Max runs to me around the puddle of puke and grabs my shoulder. "I'm fine, probably." I step away from him, but the ground is unstable, like standing atop a mammoth water balloon. I feel myself falling and shift my weight to the other side. "Hey!" Max grabs my shoulders, keeping me upright. "You gotta sit down." "I'm fine. Can we just go home?" "Dude, you're not going anywhere like this." "Nah, man, it'll be fine." Leaning back against his hands. "Just hold me up like this and I can walk." "I don't know, man." Then I hear Raph. "I do need to get home." Max groans and shakes his head. "Okay, let's go." It's only 10 minutes before I feel stable again, and Max no longer needs to hold me up. My stomach's still disturbed, but it's probably psychosomatic, a product of the atmosphere and Max's story. We cross back into town, past the warehouse, over the fence, toward home. Approaching my trailer, Max taps my shoulder. "Hey, man, we good?" I smile. "Yeah, of course. This was tight." He smiles back and points at my belly. "If you start feeling sick and shit, get that looked at." Raph holds out his hand. I take it. "Godspeed, sir." And they both walk into the night. I step to my window, slide it back open, and pull myself up into the sweltering room. I strip off my clothes and fall into bed. The clock reads 4:44 a.m. Falling. No, floating. No, I'm sinking. Sinking in blue. A blue, the shade of cosmos. A blue, the size of the earth. Something ahead of me. No, below, the place I'm sinking toward, a plane as broad as everything I've ever known. Coming closer, closer, and then I land. My feet meet the ground, clay and sand. Bubbles erupt around my circumference. Through the blue like night, I see the landmark, the rock, and the swaying thistles reaching out from it, and beneath me, I hear a quiet weeping. I wake up wet. At first I think it's sweat, but no, it's wetter than that. I'm soaked. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I bolt upright and slide off the bed. This hasn't happened since I was little. My underwear, my sheets, fuck, my entire body, even my fucking face and pillows. Jesus Christ. Gagging. How could I have pissed this much? Smelling my wrist. It's salty, but not like urine, almost like the beach. I press down on the mattress. Fluid squeezes through the fibers. God, all this fluid trickling down from lips, nostrils, tear ducts. A knock at the door. "Dennis, you up yet?" The alarm clock reads 11:17. "I'm going for groceries. You want to come?" "Hey, Mom, I think I'm coming down with something." "Oh, no." The doorknob shakes. Locked, thankfully. "Let me see." "I don't want you to catch it. I'm just gonna sleep it off. I can't stop sweating." "Oh, okay." Exhaustion and some sadness tinting her voice. "Drink lots of water." I listen for the front door to shut, for Mom's car's ignition to rumble, for the sound of dirt and gravel shifting beneath tires. Then I run to the bathroom and jump in the shower. The water stings, like it's tearing through my flesh. I get out and towel myself down. Immediately, I'm dripping again. I unplug Mom's hairdryer and head back to my room, strip the sheets, pillowcases, and mattress cover. I press down on the mattress again. More salty liquid rises over the fibers, completely saturated. I open the window and hang the mattress cover, pointing my fan toward it. I plug in the hairdryer and wave it over the mattress. I don't feel hot, but I keep sweating. Tears keep pouring from my eyes, but I'm not crying. Mom leaves me a plate of Italian mac and cheese at my door. When she goes to bed, I bring it in but don't eat. I sneak to the bathroom and pee for 15 minutes straight. I leave for school before Mom wakes, before the bus even comes. I leave a note, lying, saying I feel better, but today it's so much worse. Wet fills my mouth, and I keep swallowing, gagging on thin saliva, sweating through my clothes the moment I put them on. I need to find Max. The sun doesn't dry me. The wet keeps coming out my tear ducts, out my mouth, out my skin, leaving a trail behind me like a slug. My clothes cling to my thighs and armpits, rubbing them raw. At school, Max is standing at the front entrance, playing hacky sack with himself. He sees me coming and smiles. "Hey, man." The smile vanishes. "You okay?" "What did I drink?" The words glug out. A mouthful of drool falls from my lips with each syllable. "What?" Then a flash of realization. "Oh, I don't know, just buried water. Dude, you are not looking good." "I'm not feeling good." "You should go to the doctor, man, or at least the nurse." I shake my head, flicking wet off me like a dog. Never mind, I have to get to class. I jog down the hall to first period, geometry. All the other kids look at me, the sheer wetness of me, removing their eyes only once Mr. Cantillo arrives. He takes attendance and begins talking about transformed figures, rigid and non-rigid transformations. I look down at my desk and close my eyes. It isn't black in there, but blue, an endless blue, bubbles and shapes in the haze, the opposite of void, space filled completely, to the brim. It feels like portent. My bladder expands. "Dennis!" Pushes back up through my stomach. "Dennis!" Mr. Cantillo snarl. I snap into the room, a hard-on swollen with fluid beneath my desk. I look up. "Can I go to the bathroom?" "Dennis, we're just starting." I open my mouth to speak again, but it's only water that comes out, salty and raw. "Dennis, can you explain how—" My bladder releases. Pee shoots against the front of my already soaked pants all over my lap and down my leg. I jump out of my seat. "Excuse me!" Mr. Cantillo shouts. I cover my crotch, everyone looking at me again, giggling. I sit the hell down! I need to use the bathroom." And before he can respond, I just take off through the door, down the hall, still pissing, leaving a trail of seawater piss on the linoleum. Shouldering into the bathroom, I yank my pants open. I pee for 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 20, 30. The bell rings. Other students come into the bathroom and piss and shit in the unoccupied urinals and stalls. I keep pissing through it all. I can't stop. The bell rings for the next period, and when I no longer hear commotion in the hall, I stuff myself back into my pants. Still pissing, soaking already soaked pants and skin, and open the door. I run to the front entrance, past a yelling hall monitor and administrator. I run to the outside, to the heat, to the dry, and I keep running. I don't know where I am, and it doesn't matter. All that matters is that it's dirt. The only thing that can dry me, it has to be. Pushing through the shrubs and brush, hunched over, groping the ground till I touch a long, thin rock like a spade. I grasp it, falling to my knees. Water falling from my eyes in torrents, blinding me. Water falling off my skin in sheets. It all hits the ground and sinks through it, becoming absorbed, becoming dry. The rock slips in my hand. I lift it above my head and bring it down to the sand, scooping a tiny amount to the side. I spit out gallons of water onto the dry and keep digging, sweating, weeping, pissing water, shitting water, vomiting it, scratching at the dirt with the rock, deepening the hole ever so slightly. In hours, maybe an entire day, it will be deep enough for me to slip my body into, but even then, will it be enough? I will have to keep digging until I'm far enough under, to the point that I can't climb out. It's all I have left. Dirt to dry me, absorb me, the only thing that can. It will plug and hold me until it's no longer able, and I will burst forth and flood the earth.